Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of great millstone that taught us his truth, peace, love, and salutations. To the hopeful like Akim, teaching and preaching his truth with all righteousness and sincerity. This is Aki Awasap, and today's lesson is entitled, Give Not Over Thy Mind to Heaviness. The Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the true names of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. And as always, our sit downs, our lessons, our street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel of the Most High, unto you is the gospel preach. Shalom and Shabbat, Shalom as well as the Sabbath. All right, and today we'll be dealing with basically understanding how to move in this truth. All right. Once again, the title being Give Not Over Thy Mind to Heaviness, sorrow, depression, stress, so on and so forth. That all, plays a part into breaking down the body, breaking down the mind, breaking your strength. All right. And I got some list of precepts that goes into the comfort. All right. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and start off with 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1, and it's entitled Preach the Word. It says, I charge thee, therefore, before the Most High and the Lord Yahushai Hamashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing in his kingdom. The quick, those that are quickened by the word, this will be the elect, and the dead, those are those that are of the world. When Yahushai come, he's going to come with judgment for the elect and judgment for the dead. He's going to come with a reward for the elect and a reward for the dead. All right. So continuing on, it says, preach the word. And that's what we do on these sit downs, on the street speakings, and these various lessons. We preaching the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It says, be instant in season and out of season. So you got to preach the word all year round. This is not something that you do just in the spring and summer months when the weather is good. This is something that's done all year round. It says reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. Now, when we go into this word exhort, goes back to the Greek word. Let's see if we can get it to play. Parakaleo. And we're going to go to the second entry. It says to address, speak to, call upon, which may be done in the way of exhortation, entreaty, comfort, and instruction. So, yes, we prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. Yes, we speak about the coming kingdom of heaven. All right, the rulership of the Israelites, starting with our Lord Yahushua. Yes, we talk about these nations serving us and being our slaves, being our handmaids, our concubines, having the men build up our kingdom. Yes, we talk about the law, the statutes, and commandments. Yes, we push repentance and converting and worship in the true power. Yes, we push the names of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, going into the curses and all these different things that we continually to go into week in, week out with these lessons. But a part of that preaching, that teaching is exhortation, which is, to give comfort and instructions. Now, with us being in the truth, we constantly we're constantly in the seat of judgment. We're constantly judging things. We're constantly watching. We're constantly looking at things that's going on in the world, and we made it to the prophecies and we bring them out all for the sake of edification for the church. But what about you? There's a particular way that you should move in this truth, and the scriptures have that comfort. So we're going to start here in Ecclesiastes 30, verse 1. 30, verse 21, which is where we get the title of this lesson. It says, give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. Now let's go into this word heaviness here. Heaviness, meaning uh hmm. Okay. So it looks like it'd be the fourth entry. It says the quality of being very no, so like the fourth entry, I guess 1A, right? It says mentally oppressive feeling, especially of sadness or grief. All right. You don't want to give yourself over to that because that causes distress, that causes all type of you know, as it says in Ecclesiasticus 30 and 21, it says, give not over thy mind to heaviness. So when you giving your mind unto sorrow and grief, you just letting it conquer you, you know. At the end of the day, we have to understand that the different things that we go through in our life is predestinated from the foundation of the earth. We quote these scriptures all the time. Man's goings is of the Lord, and we'll go ahead and pull that up. But you have to really understand that. If the Lord wants you to go through a particular thing to teach you something, there's no way to get out of it. Right? And there's many examples in the scripts. I think it's Proverbs 20:24. Look at Pharaoh. With all the power and might Pharaoh had, he didn't want to let the children of Israel go. But the Lord forced his hand. So with all his strength and might that he had, he couldn't stop the wrath of the Lord. He couldn't stop the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So that's the same thing with us. Proverbs 20:24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So your life, the path of your life is of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. Jeremiah, first chapter. Jeremiah 1 and 4. Then the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of thy womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee the, a prophet unto the nation. So Jeremiah, he didn't have no control over what the will of the Lord was. The Lord telling him, look, before you was, came out and drew in common air, you was going to be a prophet. No matter what you think you want to do in life, you're going to be a prophet to the nations. And then 6, it says, then said I, O Yahweh, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. So sometimes you try to find excuses to get out of certain things. But at the end of the day, you're going to do what the Lord wants you to do. Verse 7. But Yahweh said unto me, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. All right. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith Yahweh. So Jeremiah, he already had his life mapped out for him. Jonah, he tried to escape and go to Spain or Tarshish, and different things happened, and the Lord had him come right back to Nineveh to do the work. So what does that say? That says that the Lord is the one that governs our life. Our Lord Yahweh Shah, he did the will of the Father. All right. So now when you encounter certain situations in your life, heaviness, sorrow, grief, you can't give your mind over to that. You gotta first and foremost pray that the Lord give you the strength to get through whatever situation that you're going through. And most importantly, understand that look, at the end of the day, this is what the Lord want me to go through. And it's not always in a bad sense. Some things, sometimes things is for the good. You may be going through a particular era in your life or a phase in your life when everything is working out well for you. You know, you're not even putting in a lot of effort, and things are just working out in your favor. So the Lord, he does deal with balance. But let's continue reading. Oh shit, where am I at? Okay, that's that. In Ecclesiastes 30, verse 21, give not over thy mind a heaviness. And once again, heaviness, when we looked it up on the Google, is basically sadness and grief. It says, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. And a lot of times you'll find yourself doing that. Oh, I'm gonna just stay in the house all this week, all this weekend. I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna just sit up and watch videos the whole time and just read. You got to balance yourself. Of course, we give ourselves to studying and to reading and to doing the lessons and meditating. We'll make this truth a part of our daily routine, but you still want to make sure that you have things that you do outside the truth to balance it. You may have a woman, you may have certain activities that you do. You may play musical instruments, you may work out, you may like to go on trails and hikes. you know you may like to go bowling, you may like to do whatever extracurricular activities. You want to make sure you're still doing that, long as it's following in the line of righteousness. Of course, you may like to shoot pool. That may be what you use to unplug. You may like to watch movies and play the game. you know you may like to be with your woman, and you may like to go to a restaurant or whatever, or go see a show or go hear some jazz. You want to make sure that you're incorporating these other things in your life to balance out you being in the truth, because you cannot be one-sided. You can't. Our elders and apostles say it all the time. You can't just be in the spirit 24/7. you know So once again, give not over thy mind the heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. Got to watch out for that. And sometimes that spirit will creep up. You trying to be over righteous, because that would be you afflicting thyself in thy own counsel. You trying to be over righteous. You trying to figure out, different things to do to make sure that you just being so perfect. All right. Remember, in Romans, the 8th chapter, it speaks about how the Lord have created the made the creature subject unto vanity. So we're programmed to go off, you know, and that's, for us to understand that we need Yahushua. All right. Now let's continue on in the 22nd verse here in Ecclesiastes 30. It says, the gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So you want to make sure that you are, you know, um, you know, doing things that will produce, a spirit of joy, and gladness. You understand? Because with balance, we prophesy evils. We prophesy the downfall, the destruction, the pestilences, and all these different, sad perils that we constantly going into the truth, you know, wars and threats of wars and destruction. So, you want to counter that when balance the truth, with doing things that you enjoy doing, you know. Once again, the gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Love thy own soul. You want to make sure also that you're giving yourself to self-care, you know. You want to make sure you're drinking the water. You want to take your herbs, your vitamins. You want to you want to eat your fruits, your vegetables, you know. Ain't nothing wrong with, pampering yourself. Get groomed up. Go get the cologne. Go buy you a new t-shirt. Go get you some new shoes. You know, Scripture speak about doing good to yourself, and I will get that, Lord willing, next. Buy you something. Ain't nothing wrong with taking your girl out, going to the movies or whatever y'all do. You know, You want to make sure you're doing these particular things to balance yourself out. You don't want to just be full of sorrow and just, oh, I'm in the truth. I'm just, woe is me. Oh man, grief, depression. Oh, I'm going through it. Come on now. We got the wisdom, we got the knowledge, we got the understanding that giveth the man life. So we got to make sure that we walking in this the best we can. Once again, Ecclesiasticus 30 and 23. Love thy own soul. You got to love yourself, man. You can't just because you in the truth, don't mean you just let yourself go. Get you some oils, man. Oil up. Anoint yourself. You know, get a haircut. You ain't got to be walking around here looking like you just came out of the wilderness. Like I said, get you some colognes. You may not be into the colognes. You may be into the scented oils. Get that. When the last time he bought you some drawers, some socks, some undershirts? When the last time he bought you a new t-shirt? Go get you a massage. Go to Moab and Ammon. Go get you a massage, man. There's a lot of benefits in that. That helps out with your blood circulation and your and increase your immune system. It's good for the mental. Go to the beach. Have your headphones in, listen to you some jazz or something. Self-care. Get into self-care. Love thy own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee. Situations you're going through at the job, leave work at work. Bros don't want to hear, oh yeah, let me tell you what happened at work and yada, yada, yada. Fuck work. All this shit is finna be burnt up. In a minute, we ain't gonna be able to work. Sorrow, under the umbrella of sorrow, you got depression, you got grief. You got all these different things that causes that stress in your body. And once stress is at an all-time high in your body, that actually weakens your immune system. You start getting sick, you start losing hair, losing weight, all kind of crazy shit. And excuse me for my language. It says, remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow or stress, depression have killed many, and there's no profit therein. There's no benefit for you being in that spirit of sorrow, grief, depression, woe is me, worry, doubt. Worrying and doubt has never fixed anything. It says envy and wrath shorten life, so you can't have that, you just angry all the time, spirit. That's shorten life. You end up, doing some crazy shit, or, you end up stroking out, doing all kind of harmful things to your body. And carefulness bringeth age before the time. Carefulness going into caution. You're always worrying. You're always cautious. You got to understand, look, the Lord got you. Now, you don't be out here just being reckless and, doing dumb shit, but at the end of the day, you got to understand that the Lord has a hedge of protection around those that fear him. Psalm 34 and 7. So once again, envy and wrath shorten the life. Can't be a hothead out here. And carefulness bringeth age before the time. Like I said, carefulness going into you just being cautious and just worrying too much. Oh, I ain't gonna do that. And yada, yada, yada. This may, this may be the outcome, so on and so forth. So 25, a cheerful and good heart will have care of his meat and diet. So, you want to also make sure you're watching what you eat. And it's to me first, to the brothers. Sometimes you go and eat some of this Babylonian food, but you also want to balance it. Like I said earlier, fruits, vegetables, trying to eat a, cleaner diet, make sure you're drinking a couple of gallons of water, throughout the week. All right. Now let's go to the next one. In Ecclesiastes, that was Ecclesiasticus, which is in the Apocrypha now, but now we in Ecclesiastes in the Bible. Chapter 1, verse 18, it says, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. So yeah, We got the truth, we got the knowledge, we got the wisdom, we got the understanding through the spirit. We know particular things. We know why we're in this cursed state. We know that Esau, Edom is the wicked. We know that these women, is harlots, which you do got, some righteous women in the truth. But we know particular things that will cause you to have the spirit of grief and the spirit of sorrow. All right. But just because it's this wisdom and this knowledge is going to increase these different things, you got to know how to counterbalance it. Like we read in Ecclesiastes 30. You want to make sure you're doing particular things that'll level you out. All right. So once again, for much wisdom is much grief. And he that increaseth knowledge increases sorrow. Just think about when you first came into truth. When you start finding out that, we're still in slavery. We're being ruled over with rigor by our oppressor. There's a invisible ceiling here in the society for you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You ain't gonna get too high. So that increased, certain grief, certain sorrow. Like, damn, But just because these particular things is increased, don't mean that you can't balance it. All right. This is Ecclesiastes 14. 11. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself, going into self-care. And it says, according to thy ability, because you may not be able to do things that another brother may do, because at the end of the day, the Lord got, you got a lot. This brother got a lot. Different brothers got different assignments here in this world. So according to thy ability, you may not be able to, go take you a trip to the beach and, go sit by the water and, have you some white wine and, eat some salmon with a nice salad. You may not be able to do that, but you may be able to, you know, um, buy you an outfit, go take you a nice ride somewhere, go get you some Mediterranean food, listen to some music, so however the Lord got you set up, you want to make sure you doing that self-care. You want to make sure you loving yourself. You love it. Like we read in Ecclesiastes 30 and 23, love thine own soul. You gotta be showing yourself love, man. Where are we at? Salaki, we over here. Ecclesiastes 14 and 11. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself and give the Lord his due offering. So you want to make sure you're doing your work, doing the work too. Make sure you're giving that vibration to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So this verse pretty much sums a lesson up when you think about it, because we're talking about self-care, making sure you're doing good to yourself, and then also making sure you're doing the work as well. And pursuant to Romans 12, we offer our bodies a living sacrifice, right? So that's the offering that we give in the Lord. Romans 12 and 1, a dedicated service. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. So us giving our mind, body, and soul to this, us out there on the highways and the byways, reading, studying, being in the upright conversation, being charitable amongst the brethren, watching videos, so on and so forth. This is our reasonable service. This is our offering that we giving unto the Lord. Once again, Ecclesiastes 14 and 11, my son, brothers in the truth, according to thy ability, whatever measurement that the Lord gave you, do good to thyself. All right. Do good to yourself, Akim. Self-care, Akim. Just because, like I said earlier, just because you in the truth don't mean you gotta, oh, I'm not even worried, I'm not even worried about myself. Yada yada yada. You got holes and shit in your shirt old, your pants is old, shoes is fucked up. Like I said, when the last time you bought you some fresh pair of drawers, fresh pair of socks? When the last time you put some, some cologne, some smell good and shit on you? And don't be the type of Jake that the only time you get dressed and the only time you pamper yourself is when you finna go deal with a woman. You know, you giving her too much power. You got to do this to yourself just because you love yourself. This is a part of who you are. Me loving myself, this is a part of who I am. You know, and what that would do is that'll produce integrity. Having morals, which is all the characteristics that the truth gives a man. And it says, and give the Lord his due offering. Now let's see what else I got here. 26 minutes in. Um, got that in Romans. Uh, did that. We could drop that. Okay, drop that. Let's a couple more precepts. Ecclesiastes 14 and 12. No, yeah, 14 and 12. Remember that death will not be long in coming. Yeah, life is short. And that the covenant of the grave is not shown unto thee. So, we in a generation now where, Lord willing, if we're of the elect, we're not gonna taste death. It is written that some will be martyrs for Yahweh. But at the end of the day, we looking for the salvation. We looking for the life. Now, if we do gotta lay down our life, the Lord will give us the spirit to do that. Verse 13, do good unto thy friend before thou die. You want to be charitable, be a good brother. And according to thy ability, stretch out thy hand and give to him. So, like I said earlier, you want to be charitable. You want to, show love to brothers, as well. And that's all a part of, producing your character in the faith. So I pretty much hit the points. All right. And I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to our elders and apostles. A great millstone. Shalom, Marcus. Stay strong. Shabbat Shalom.